So it kind of feels like we're being inundated with advertisements all the time, doesn't it? Well, in fact, we are. The average person sees about 5,000 advertisements each day. And I understand that this is the way that a lot of companies make their money, but it used to be the case that we could pay money to get away from these types of things. If we paid for a product, it was something that we'd be able to escape, but not the case any longer. Nowadays, we've seen the rise of streaming services even where you pay money to have the service, and at the base tier, you're still getting ads. Netflix, Prime Video, they are all doing this. And for the companies that offer their service for free, even though the fact that the product is actually you and your data, which they are mining to sell to advertisers who will then sell back to you, those products are getting more and more intrusive with the ads every single day. Today, I want to talk about the newest intrusion of advertisements, the next level of encroachment of ads into every area of your life. That comes from none other than Meta. Let's get into it. If you don't know me, I'm Spencer, and I like to talk about simple living, frugality, and ways to cut down on your technology usage, sometimes by using other technologies. So when it comes to advertisements, Meta is not new to the party whatsoever. In fact, they're probably the top of the game at it. Meta has made almost all of their living through advertisements, whether it is showing you advertisements at the cost of advertisers, or whether it is selling your data to advertisers so they can better sell to you. 98% of their money is made through advertisements in some respect. And with sky high profits year after year, it seems like the ad model is working pretty good for them. But enough is never enough, is it, guys? In the past month, Meta has started testing a new form of ads on Instagram. And you might say, I've seen ads on Instagram before. What's Spence on about now? Not like this, folks. These are unskippable ads. They are ads that you have to wait a duration of time before you can proceed using the service. Pretty shortly after entering Instagram, you will be hit with an unskippable ad, and after which you are able to proceed going through the content. But once you are hit with your allotment of ad-free content, then bam, you are hit with another ad. And this isn't something that I'm just reporting to you from an article I read, though I did double check my findings through an article. But in fact, I know from personal experience. Folks, your man Spencer was chosen to be one of the guinea pigs, randomly selected to be part of this operation of unskippable ads, and I can tell you it's legit. It is in fact happening. I reinstalled Instagram on my phone for a social media gig I took a couple weeks ago, and within 1 minute of entering the app, I was hit with an unskippable ad. Now, this is a pretty big departure for Meta and how they're approaching ads on Instagram. There's been ads on Instagram for a while, but they were easily skippable. They were something that you could just scroll past and continue on. This is likely being done as a push to get more money for advertisers because Meta is now able to guarantee that their ad impressions are going to be a certain duration of time. By forcing Instagram users to look at advertisements before they're able to go back to their regular content, Meta is able to guarantee a longer ad impression and engagement, and that's going to command more dollars. But doesn't Instagram make enough money? Why would they do this? Where would they get such a crazy idea from? People are obviously going to be up in arms about this, right? So there's two answers to this. The first thing is why they would do this, and that's because it works. The second thing is, where did they get this idea from? Where did they get this idea to try this thing, forcing people to watch ads to use something like Instagram? Well, they got it right here, folks. They got it from YouTube. YouTube's been doing this for years, and though people groaned and moaned when they first introduced unskippable ads onto the platform, people eventually just accepted it and got used to it, or if they couldn't get used to it, they found a workaround. But for the most part, the complaints around unskippable ads on YouTube have mellowed, and I think that Meta is betting on the same thing happening on Instagram. However, I do think that Meta has a little bit more of a track record for getting things wrong. The metaverse, anyone? Ray-Bans X Meta smart glasses? I'm not sure Meta really gets it at all. The reality is, though, is that this ad model is likely to be expanded to all users on Instagram in the very near future, and we could even see this trend coming to other platforms as well. Places like TikTok could also do something like this in the future, though I think TikTok has made a point to say that they don't intend on doing something like this. But I don't think Netflix intended to have ads on there either. In fact, that was kind of the appeal. But now look what's happened. So I think it's just a matter of time. And the reality is that most of these social media platforms are quite low value already. TikTok and Instagram with their very short form content, I believe it's more like candy, where YouTube offers the ability to have long form discussion, which I think is the only way to add real value in this way. And by value, I guess I mean something that you kind of generally benefit from, some sort of intersection of inspiration, education, and entertainment. I personally find YouTube to be a lot more educational and inspirational than shorter form content on other social media platforms. With Instagram, I find that it's a lot more of a FOMO machine. I see what other people are doing, and it's all about manufacturing some kind of hyper real sense of self, and it can make you feel a lot more less than. Now, I know some people find benefit from short form content, but to me, I feel like it's a lot more like junk food than long form content is. It tastes good and it may seem appealing, but ultimately it doesn't make you feel good. And I think that's the important distinction. I think a lot of people also have a more conflicted relationship with a social media platform like Instagram than they do with something like YouTube. So I think the introduction of unskippable ads is just going to make that service all the more unpalatable, perhaps pushing people who already are a bit iffy on the platform over the edge to leaving it for good. Now, these ads are intentionally quite short at this point. They're only about 5 seconds. But if the content that you're consuming on there is also very short as well, is it really worth the value you're getting from it? And also keep in mind that this is the first iteration of unskippable ads on Instagram. I can see a world where these become much more frequent and longer in the not so distant future. Now, I think it's pretty clear that the ad model is going to remain the name of the game for the foreseeable future. And as long as that stands, so is the game of user distraction, keeping us distracted to keep us hooked, showing us short bursts of low value but high entertainment content to keep us around so that they can show us more advertisements. Honestly, I do not think this is a good way to go. I'm not exactly sure what the solution is, but it feels like the right way to move is to pay for more of the content that we want rather than having to pay with our time and attention. But for right now, it seems that most people are happy with giving up the latter. And folks, that is it for today. Just my thoughts on Instagram adding these unskippable ads to their platform. Now, I know many of the people who watch this channel have given up social media already, and you're probably grinning right now. But I know there's a lot of people out there who still use these platforms, and I'm wondering what you're thinking right now. Either way, let me know what you're thinking in the comments section. I'd be happy to hear from you there. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey folks, Future Spencer here. If you haven't heard, I did an interview just a few weeks ago on Radio New Zealand talking all about dumb phones and my process around digital distraction and fighting it. This channel also now has a Discord server associated with it, so if you'd like to get in on the conversation around simple living, frugality, and the low-tech lifestyle, I've placed an invite link in the description, and I would love to have you in that conversation on Discord. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.